the Fourier representation of signals. Now we'll start with the Fourier domain or Fourier representation of our signals. The Fourier representation is very much required because it gives the clear picture of our signal and gives lots of its properties. Like the frequency of the signal will not be clearly understood in the time domain that we can represent and understand in the frequency domain. The amplitude as only is understood in the time domain, so the frequency domain is helpful with lots of properties, so we can explore them. The convolution would be a bit complex in the time domain, which will be made easier in the frequency domain. So at the beginning, let's see what is this Fourier representation of signals. The Fourier representation is nothing but the complex domain, the complex sinusoidal representation of the given signal. So whatever is our signal, that signal will be represented in the complex sinusoidal form, and that representation is referred as the Fourier domain representation. Now in signals, we have two major categories, that is the discrete signal, which we represent as x of n, and the continuous signal, which we do represent as x of t. And in each of these we have two categories. So with respect to periodicity of the signal, so we have a discrete periodic as well as non-periodic signals. Similarly, a continuous periodic as well as non-periodic signals. So depending upon the nature, whether it is discrete or continuous, and even whether it is the periodic or non-periodic, we are having the four kinds or four types of Fourier representations. If the signal is discrete and if it is periodic, if it is discrete, then always the name dt will be there. dt stands for discrete time. dt stands for discrete time. So discrete time. And even it may be a non-periodic, this discrete time is going to be there. So discrete time will be there. And in continuous, no prefix as such. So dt stands for discrete time. Now if the signal is periodic, we are going for the Fourier representation of this one as Fourier series. So we find or we represent the signal in terms of Fourier series if our signal is periodic in nature, and if it is non-periodic, then we find its Fourier transform. For non-periodic signals, we find the Fourier transform, and with the periodic signals, we do the representation as Fourier series. The Fourier series representation we do. Similarly, in case of continuous time, the periodic signal, for which we go for the Fourier series representation of this. There is nothing like CT. Sometimes we can write continuous time Fourier series, or just Fourier series indicates that it is a continuous signal. And similarly, if it is a non-periodic signal, then we go for Fourier transform of the signal. So we find the Fourier series, or we go for Fourier series representation for periodic signals, and for non-periodic signals it would be the Fourier transform. So I hope the things are clear. Now in this module, the first thing is we are learning the Fourier series. Means first the DTFS, discrete time Fourier series, and the Fourier series are to be learned, and then next would be the non-periodic signals, of course, of discrete as well as continuous time. We'll start with the Fourier series of discrete time signals. So DTFS is discrete time Fourier series. In each of these Fourier representations, we'll have two equations. Now the first one in case of DTFS is x of n is equal to summation k over the n, where n is the fundamental period of the signal. So we know as it is with the periodic signals. So let's consider that x of n signal is there, and this x of n signal, a discrete time signal, is periodic with its fundamental time interval n. So its fundamental frequency omega naught is equal to 2 pi by n, and it is with a period n. And for this signal, when it is converted from time domain to frequency domain, it gets converted as x of k. Now x of k is the Fourier representation. Means when we convert our time domain signal x of n to the Fourier domain, in the Fourier domain, the x of n, the x signal is represented as x of k. K is the variable used in frequency domain with the periodic signals. So x of k is the frequency domain representation. So e raised to j k omega naught n. So k is the Fourier coefficient, omega naught is the fundamental frequency, and n is the time domain value. Similarly, the x of k is another, like two equations we write. So x of k is given by 1 by n, where n is the fundamental time interval, again summation over the n running over the fundamental period, x of n e raised to minus j k omega naught of n. So this first equation is referred as the synthesis equation. It is referred as the synthesis equation. It's our synthesis equation. Second one is referred as the analysis equation. The second equation is analysis equation. So we have a discrete time periodic signal x of n. Its Fourier representation is the Fourier series representation, and the signal in the Fourier domain is x of k, capital X of k, where this n is the fundamental time interval of the signal and number of samples we can say in a single period. N is the fundamental time interval of the signal, and omega naught is the frequency of the signal, the fundamental frequency of the signal. Now with this, there are some properties, but the properties proof is not there for the syllabus. So we have the linearity property, time shift property, frequency shift property, then Parsells property, even some more properties are there. Just we can glance them, and then we can do them. So as it is not there for the syllabus, let's solve the problems of this. So the very first problems related to this Fourier domain representation of discrete time are, the first one is x of n is equal to, so we'll be given with a signal x of n is equal to, so we will be given with x of n is equal to, the very first one is cos of pi by 3 n, cos of pi by 3 n. Then how can we solve this? Cos of pi by 3 n. Then how to solve this? So whether we can solve it with the synthesis equation or with the analysis equation. Now the solution of this one, these kind of problems where like some trigonometric functions are given, we have to go for the first equation or the synthesis equation. So as we are using the synthesis equation, this equation has to resemble this. As it has to resemble this, we need to go for the expansion of this trigonometric form, this trigonometric function. So this trigonometric form of this one, so we know that how sine theta is expanded and how cos theta is expanded. If it is a cos theta, then the expansion of this cos theta is equal to e raised to theta plus e raised to minus theta divided by 2. So by using those kind of things, so if it is a sine theta, then it would be e raised to theta. So it is e raised to j theta plus e raised to minus j theta divided by 2, or e raised to I theta. In this way we do the expansion of this. Similarly, let's do the expansion of this one. The expansion of this signal would be e raised to j pi by 3, e raised to j pi by 3 n plus e raised to j pi by 3 with a minus sign, e raised to minus j pi by 3 plus e raised to j pi by. Now this equation we have to convert it, or we have to get it to the form of x of k e raised to j k omega naught n. So to get to that form, we need to write this one as this 2 is common. So let's write it as 1 by 2 e raised to j, as we need it, j k. So here we can't do anything, and before this we need to find, so after this we need to find what is the fundamental time interval of the signal, what is the frequency of the signal. Omega naught is equal to 2 pi by n. As omega naught is equal to 2 pi by n, here the signal is, what is, if we compare the signals, if we compare this signal like e raised to j omega naught n, with that if we compare the value of omega naught, if we compare this one with e raised to j omega naught n, so value of omega naught is equal to pi by 3. So we get omega naught is equal to 2 pi by n, and this is equal to pi by 3 here, pi by 3. So 2 pi by n is equal to pi by 3, but we need to write the fundamental frequency as omega naught is equal to, just in the form 2 pi by n. We need to find what is the value of n by this. So to get the value of n, it should be in the 2 pi by n form. So we need to make it as 2 pi. Omega naught is equal to 2 pi. We have to multiply this with 2 pi. So 2. If we multiply by 2, it becomes 2 pi divided by 2 into pi, and 2 into 3 is 6. So this clears that the fundamental time interval, the fundamental interval of the signal, the number of samples in one period are 6. The fundamental interval of the signal, time interval of the signal is equal to 6. So this is a required e raised to, now let's go for, after knowing this, now we can write omega naught is equal to pi by 3. We got the value of omega naught. Omega naught is equal to how much? It is pi by 3. So 1 by 2 e raised to j, this k value, let it be 1. Let me write k value as 1 in the bracket. Now omega naught has to be written, and omega naught is, for this signal, it is pi by 3, and n as it is. Similarly with the other one, the second part, again same it is 1 by 2 e raised to j. Let's write in this form. Positive form is required, so let's leave this minus for the time being, minus j. Now while writing this k, let me write this one as now minus 1, because we don't have to change this term. It is minus, so let's include that as minus 1 omega naught is pi by 3 into n into n. Now let's compare the signal 1 by 2 e raised to j k omega naught, like j1 pi by 3 n, with this signal, and even this one with this signal. Now from this we can find that it is 1 by 2 e raised to j 1 pi by 3 is there. From this we compare this one, so it is as good as we are writing it for k is equal to, now this synthesis equation, let's write this synthesis equation says that k is equal to n, k is equal to n over the n. Now our n is 6. As n is our this equation, synthesis equation, this expansion x of k e raised to j k omega naught, that is pi by 3, is substituted, and n. Now from this, out of the 6, we conclude that there are only 2 expansions of this cos of pi by 3. So when we compare these equations, we get the value of this x of k. Now if k is 1, then it has to be 1. So from this we'll get the value of x of 1. The value of x of 1 is equal to, the value of x of 1 is equal to 1 by 2. And similarly, the value of x of minus 1, the value of x of 1 we get, because with this equation we can write them as this one. It can be written as x of 1 e raised to the same thing, and this can be written as x of minus 1, as here we can write x of minus 1 and x of 1 at these places. So the value of x of 1 is 1 by 2, and even x of minus 1 is 1 by 2. Or we can write 1 by 2 is the value of x of 1 as well as x of minus 1. In case of the frequency domain representation, we need to draw the two figures, the one or graphs. The one is magnitude or plots. We need to draw the magnitudal plot as well as phasal plot. But for this for the cos theta, we have got this one as x of 1 is equal to 1 by 2 only. There is no imaginary term, there is no j, and even here there is no j. These are purely the magnitudes, like we can write 1 by 2 plus j 0, and even we have this one as 1 by 2 plus or minus whatever it is, plus, let me write j 0. The magnitudal plot is x of k, the magnitude, and phasal plot would be in this way, the way in which we draw the angle. We can see that when we solve the sine kind of the problems, there the phasal plot is existing. Now the value at 1, x of 1 means 1, it is our k axis. K is 1 means at k is equal to 1, its value is 1 by 2. And similarly at minus 1, its value is 1 by 2. We represent in this way. As it is a periodic signal, and our synthesis equation is over the period, means we know the periodic signal's nature. The nature says that x of n plus n, the x of n plus n is equal to the same value. After a period, it takes again the same values. So if we go for x of k plus 6, because 6 is our fundamental time interval. So x of k plus 6 is equal to 1 by 2. It is true. When this k is plus 1, when this k is equal to plus 1, we'll get it as x of 7. We get this one as x of k as 1 plus 6, that is 7. Means again at 7, its value would be 1 by 2. Since it is a periodic signal. If the value of k is minus 1, because at minus 1 also its value is present. If the k is minus 1, then it becomes x of minus 1 plus 6, which is x of minus 1 plus 6 is going to be x of 5. So it would be this way. And similarly, it is true with the other side. Like for x of minus 6 also, these things are true. So even at minus 5 and at minus 7, we'll be having the samples. Let's write minus 7, and this is our discrete time Fourier transform of cos of pi by 3 n. So let's see what all has happened here once again. In this, the cos of pi by 3 n is expanded by using e raised to j theta, because cos theta is expanded in this way. So after the expansion, we use the synthesis equation, and this expansion is converted to fit out this synthesis equation, and when we convert that one, we are getting the magnitudal plot. The values of x of 1 and x of minus 1 are obtained. The similar problems we can see in the next.